Good morning and welcome to St Andrew's Rippingale. This Sunday, the 2nd of August, we will be having our first Eucharistic service since the lockdown, and we're really excited about that. The service will start at 11 o'clock and will be recorded and streamed live on Facebook and later on YouTube. The first thing you will notice when you are greeted here by the sidesperson is the fact that they will be wearing a mask. The regulations have changed, requesting us to wear masks. So I'm just going to take you on a brief walkthrough of what you might expect if you join us for a Eucharist here at Rippingale. When you arrive, you will be met with the notices that you may have become familiar with, asking you not to enter if you have or think you might have coronavirus, reminding about the 2-metre social distancing, and asking you to avoid physical contact with anyone other than your family group and only sit in the designated seats. Also, please don't touch any surfaces that you do not need to. As I said a moment ago, the regulations have changed, and so please do wear a mask or a face covering. As you approach the door, we ask you to wait to be seated by the sidesperson. Well, because of the limitations of social distancing, it's really important that the sidespeople direct you to your seat so that we can maximise the number of people that can worship with us. This may mean, unfortunately, that you can't sit in the pew or the seat that you are used to and like to sit in, but please do follow the instructions of the sidespeople. As we're becoming familiar with everywhere, the first thing you'll be asked to do once you come inside the building is to sanitise your hands with the sanitisers provided. You will also be asked for your name and contact number for test and trace. You will then be directed to your seat, which could be anywhere in the church. Because of social distancing, we're having to be quite inventive about how we seat people. So you could be seated anywhere in the church. The service may very well not be what you are used to for a number of reasons. I'm going to remove my mask to make it easier to speak because I'm the only person in the church at the moment. But actually on Sunday, I will be wearing a mask like we hope everyone else will, unless of course you have a medical reason not to. I'll now take you through the pattern for what will happen when we get to the actual receiving of the Eucharist, because the rest of the service you'll probably be quite familiar with, although it will be a little shorter than you're used to. One of the things you might be happy about is that also means that the sermon will be a little bit shorter than normal, but we will much of what we do will be familiar to you. But when it comes to the receiving of the Eucharist, it will be different. So I'll take you through that now. We ask you to remain in your pew until you're invited to come forward by the sidesperson. This is so that we can keep the flow of people, minimise people passing each other and coming into contact with each other. By the time we get to Sunday, there will be 2-metre markings on the floor, and we ask you to maintain the 2-metre social distancing as you approach the front to receive communion. One of the big changes will be around the wearing of face masks. And as you approach, you will be asked to sanitise your hands before removing your face mask, removing your face mask and then sanitising your hands for a second time. After you have done that, we will ask you to approach the altar rail here. I'll be distributing the host from here. We ask you to hold your hands out from your body. I will do the same. As I said, I will be wearing a mask, but then we will maintain as much distance as we can between us as I give you the host. The host will actually be dropped slightly into your hands to avoid my hands making contact with yours and therefore minimise the risk of any transmission of the virus. Once you have received communion, we will ask you to turn as if you are going behind the organ and to walk forward from here. As you continue on our one-way system, we ask you to be careful of this step at the end of the pews. There is a sign warning about this, and we will be putting some tape on that step, but please don't trip over there. As you come out, the tables will mark the way that you need to go, and you'll find another hand sanitizer. This, again, is where the changes in the regulations come. You are asked to sanitize your hands, put your face covering back on, and then sanitize your hands a second time. After this, you will be going back to your seat. via the one-way system, which is up this aisle. These chairs will not be there at the time. Up this aisle, across the back of the church and to your pews. As I say, if you're in the side pews or in the chairs, the sides people will direct you, and you will just follow the one-way system back to your seat, as will everyone. The service will then continue, and when we come to the end of the service, we ask you to remain in your seat until the sides people invite you to leave. The sides people will then guide you out via the one-way system to the exit. It's a separate door to the one that you will have come in through. So it will be, again, these chairs will not be here. We'll be walking towards this door. And as you have done, or will have done many times already this morning, there is a sanitizer, and we ask you to sanitize your hands as you leave. As you leave through this exit, we ask you to sort of clear away from the door so that people aren't congregating too much when they get here. We don't have a bit of a bottleneck at all. We're asked to encourage you not to stay and talk for too long with people to, again, maintain the social distancing. So, hopefully that's given you a bit of an idea what worship will look like on Sunday. It'll be very different from all of us, and I'm sure there'll be things that don't go the way we planned and things that go better than we'd planned, and we will figure things out as we go along. I really hope to see you here at St Andrew's Rippingale on Sunday the 2nd of August at 11 o'clock. The following week it will be at Morton, but I'll be doing a similar video to this because Morton, the building is slightly different. I look forward to seeing you all then. It'd be good to worship together and to be back in the church buildings. God bless you all.